Oh, what's up, guys? So, yeah, of course, I went to see the new It. I mean, it was quite a lot of hype and marketing for a new horror movie. And it's funny because I remember all too well when they released the first promotional photos, stills, I guess, of Pennywise the clown. Everybody went crazy and they were all convinced that the movie was gonna suck. Well, it didn't. It's actually pretty great. Directed by Andy Muschietti. Is that how you pronounce it? Who made other great films such as Mama and well, that's the only one. And it wasn't that great. It is a adaptation of the Stephen King novel. Let's just get that straight. It's not a remake of the 1990 made-for-television miniseries. But you know, obviously everybody is going to compare them, but I won't. Although I probably will. I mean, I haven't even read the novel. So, when it comes to the miniseries, my two biggest complaints are that it runs for too long as a movie. Plus, it's simply just not that scary. So, for this new movie, you know, with them adapting the novel into a movie, I was like, well, at least it won't be that long, and fuck me, it's part one. Yeah, this new It, I guess it's planned as a duology, or you know, as how I like to call it, two movies. But in this case, there's nothing really to worry about because you know the movie now, the new It stands on its own. It's a movie on itself, beginning, middle, end. That's it. So in the novel as well as in the miniseries, there's an alternating narrative between the kids being kids and later when the kids are adults, or the adults are adults. So it's like when they're kids, they are discovering and fighting this evil entity that they call It, also known as Pennywise the Dancing Clown. And then some 30 years later, when they're adults, they basically do the same. This movie, however, it's solely focused on the kids part. So that's you basically get that part of the story. There's no jumping back and forth. It's all told in chronological order.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
So, the other complaint about the miniseries not being scary, the movie they definitely upped the horror. I mean, it was pretty scary, but mostly in a fun way. As in, you know, like I was like never during the movie was I like, oh no, like I can't watch. Like it wasn't that type of scary, but there were just enough scary moments throughout the movie, more than enough, you know, to make it a fun ride. And usually I'd like to differentiate between a movie being scary as in like eerie, you know, that there's like this constant threat and it's just the mood and atmosphere that gets under your skin, or a movie that just has a bunch of scares and you know, you sort of know, you see when they're coming and when they come it's like boo and you're like, what? And you know, you get this adrenaline rush for a couple of seconds and then, you know, you calm down and you basically wait until the next scare. You get me, right? You know what I'm trying to say, right? This movie, definitely the latter one. Most of the scares, they do rely heavily on loud sounds and, you know, the music. And, you know, it's always things popping up like scary faces or something moving towards the camera in like a fast pace. And I know that I make it sound like it's just like cheap jump scares, but I didn't experience them as annoying. They were, you know, they were pretty cool. Like, also because I feel like they made sense within the scenes. It didn't feel like cheap or cheating. Like the scares, they fit well. So, the reason why I didn't find this movie truly scary, I think it's mostly just because everything went so well hand in hand with the comedy of it all. Because yeah, this movie is also just pretty funny. Mostly due to the dialogue, you know, like the things that the kids say and their interaction. The nerdy wisecracker, he's played by Seth Green in the miniseries. In the movie, he's portrayed by that kid from Stranger Things. He's throwing out "Yo mama" and "My penis is long" jokes like it's nothing. And they're like, in context, it's actually pretty funny, but it does become a little stale after like the 5th or 10th time. Plus, what I'm trying to say here is that it just kind of takes away from the straight up horror vibe of the overall movie. For example, something like pretty scary could have just happened and then it's like, oh, yo mama and my penis is long. And you know, I guess it's kind of funny, it makes the movie fun, but it kind of like diminishes the horror aspect of it all. So yeah, the scares, they were mostly fun. I like how they very much focus on the individual fears of each character. You know how Pennywise sort of like personifies, or like he goes into what kids are afraid of, right? So when you're with this character, with that character, every time the scary moment that would pop up, it was something new, you know. It gave the movie a lot of opportunities to come up with different scares, and I actually did really like that. You know, like I every time I was curious as to like, oh, I'm looking forward to what we're gonna see now as a scare. It was good. And then, of course, there's Pennywise. Like I said, you know, with the promotional images, everybody was like very skeptical, and then the trailer was, it would all take, oh, look at this little frame where he looks silly. But let me tell you, Bill Scooty-Doo, he did an excellent job. I mean, the whole visualization of the clown was great, you know, with the glowing eyes and them drifting off a little bit, and this like constant subtle drooling. It was great. And I know with Tim Curry, it was all performance, you know, that was all him. And of course Bill, he had a lot of help from like some subtle CGI and clever editing and like great sound design. But I don't know, like in the end it doesn't really matter, because the end result, you know, it definitely makes for a quite memorable, freaky, like terrifying clown. Some things that perhaps I didn't like that much. Maybe, I guess, the bullies. I mean, Jesus Christ, the bullies? I haven't read the novel, so I don't know how they are, but Jesus Christ, man, they were like borderline sociopaths. They should be locked away. I don't know, it annoyed me a little bit. For me, it was just a little too over the top, I guess. In general, like, everything is just a little more vulgar compared to the miniseries, which I shouldn't be doing. You know, like for example, like the language and stuff, like the way that the kids talk, and maybe that is the way like 13-year-old kids talk. I honestly don't remember anymore. But I don't know, I just kind of also like the subtlety of the miniseries. Apart from that, there's really not that much to complain about. Perhaps maybe in the theater I was sitting to a bunch of like basic girls, can you say that? You know, we're like jumping and screaming at every little scare that happened, to the point that at one point they told me, like, we're sorry, sir. Jesus Christ, I never felt as old as I did at that moment. But yeah, it is great. Overall, well made, you know, like direction, cinematography, editing, production design, all of that. You know, it's definitely nothing out of the ordinary, but, you know, it's sufficient, it's good, it's just good. Would have been cool to see it as a straight up horror movie, you know, without the comedy aspect of it all. I'd be curious to see this as like a scary movie. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. The way they made it, it's good. It made for a fun ride with plenty of spooks along the ride. Would watch again. Not quite sure about a part 2 though. I feel like it would kind of be exactly the same movie, but with adults. But yeah, we'll see when that comes around. So, you guys, you've already seen it? You're planning on watching it? Do you agree with me? Like, what do you expect? What do you think? Let me know, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Cheers, guys. See you next time.